It is Wednesday night, February 9th, 2022, and you're watching another brand new episode of the Kicking Out podcast, or perhaps you're listening at a later time. If you're doing that, hit that subscribe button. If you're on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating and review, just like Dave Meltzer. We really appreciate it. Helps us out a lot. With all that said, my co-host Paul Zartman is across the computer screen from me. Paul, Moose, how's it going tonight?
Well, it's Wednesday night. We just made it through 2 hours of fantastic television. Probably my two favorite hours of the week. Yes, I know Rampage is on Fridays, but I look forward to Dynamite more than Rampage because after Dynamite, we're here talking AEW on the Kicking Out podcast. So I always look forward to this.
Like I normally say, when Dynamite starts, it's time for the best 2 hours of the week. And tonight
Absolutely.
was pretty darn good.
Yes. The show begins, and our commentary team of Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur welcome us to the show. Wardlow makes his way down to the ring with cardboard cutouts of MJF. Wardlow hands ring announcer Justin Roberts a card, and Roberts introduces FTR and Tully Blanchard, who make their way to the ring, followed by Shawn Spears. A video package is then shown of MJF's win over Punk last week. And then the man of the hour, MJF, makes his way to the ring after Justin Roberts reads off this very long intro.
An entrance. What an entrance.
Wow. MJF tells Atlantic City that they need to settle down, says he made it crystal clear last week. He's the best wrestler on the planet, not Kenny Omega, not Bryan Danielson, not Adam Cole, and not Hangman Page. MJF says he beat CM Punk twice last week in Punk's hometown of Chicago, and that means he's better than the best in the world. MJF says a lot of emotion came over him while he was pinning Punk, which made him feel the need to whisper 2 words into Punk's ears: "You suck." MJF says if it weren't for Shawn Spears, he wouldn't have beaten Punk. Spears says given MJF's historic win, he got MJF a gift, a brand new shirt that says better than the best in the world, which is now available on AEWshop.com. I felt like we were in the DX era when that happened.
Shop AEW.com.
Yes, my notes flipped it. Sorry. But yeah, the little shameless plug there reminded me of the DX era.
Oh, absolutely. Gotta sell the merch, and I'm sure that'll sell good. I know you got more to go over.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go over before I get my thoughts.
MJF says he's better than Bret Hart in Canada. He's better than Rowdy Piper in Portland, and he's better than CM Punk in Chicago. And it's time he becomes AEW World Champion. Punk comes out, says MJF's win is a suspect as as suspect as MJF's spray tan. Punk says he's got some friends today since MJF, FTR, Wardlow, and Spears like to pick their spots and team up on one person. Sting and Allen make their way out, and Punk says they either give him what he wants, a rematch, or he, Sting, and Darby will come down to the ring and beat it out of them. MJF says he's already beaten Punk twice, and Punk says he's not talking to MJF. He's talking to Wardlow because everyone in the ring wouldn't have won anything if it weren't for Wardlow. MJF says he beat Punk all by himself. Punk tells Wardlow to leave those punks in the ring. MJF says Wardlow hangs around the Pinnacle because they're best friends. Harwood says he and Cash Wheeler are the best tag team in the world and that they want a rematch against Punk, Sting, and Darby. Punk accepts. MJF says he doesn't want to wrestle in the cesspool of Atlantic City. MJF proposes CM Punk alongside any partner of his choosing against FTR, and if Punk wins, MJF will give him a rematch anytime, anywhere. And Punk cannot choose Darby or Sting as his partner. MJF tells Wardlow to change into his gear because he has a match tonight. MJF says he's better than Punk, and Punk knows it. And then we head to a commercial break.
Yes, a lot to unpack.
A lot to kick off the show with.
I figured they were going to kick off the show with MJF coming out and making a statement. His humble speech, as he had been saying on Twitter, was going to be. But one thing I liked a lot was Wardlow's kind of stepping forward because he thinks the acknowledgment's coming, and instead he gives it to Shawn Spears. And Wardlow's facial expressions are just great. Just planting those seeds once again. Just little things. They don't have to do anything big. Adding more to the storyline. Fantastic. And then when Punk was bringing two people out, I suspected it was going to be Darby and Sting, but I was hoping it was going to be them boys, the Briscoes. I keep waiting.
Oh,
Give us what we want.
we'll
Give me
get
what I
there.
want, like Batista said to Triple H a couple of years ago.
We'll get there.
I
TK
know.
listens to us, okay, Tanner?
Oh, I
Just
know, and they definitely bring up his name a bunch on Twitter. I mean, it's by design. It's not by accident, but I think
yeah.
everybody's dying to get it.
Oh, we'll get it. We'll get it in due time.
Yep. Yep.
We come back from commercial break as we set up for Wardlow versus the Blade, and of course, Sean Spears is with Wardlow.
Well, before that, we got the encounter with Andrade,
Oh yeah,
Sting, and Darby, which I didn't like how they advertised that. And then
yeah,
it was
no,
I don't it was just weird. And then you shoot
yeah,
it backstage, and basically Andrade's saying it's nice to finally meet your boss, and Sting's like, "What are you talking about? I thought you covered this a week and a half ago." And he's like, "For one, Darby's not a kid. Two, if you want to talk to Darby, you talk to him mano y mano."
mm-hmm,
And
exactly.
Darby said he's going for the TNT title, and Andrade pretty much said that he's going to be the champion. And Andrade's number 3 in the rankings. So,
Yeah, he's working
or
his way up there.
number 4. I think Dante Martin's number 3.
Okay.
I think if I saw that correctly.
I just looked at those two. I should remember that, but sadly,
One's
I do
3,
not.
one's 4. I think
Yeah.
Dante's 3, but
All right. So the match starts, and Blade takes out Wardlow by the knees right as the bell sounds, unloads some kicks to the downed big man. Wardlow knocks Blade back as the crowd heavily cheers his name. Wardlow plans Blade with a belly to belly, tosses Blade out of the ring as we head to commercial break. When we come back from the break, we get back into the ring. Blade tries to fight Wardlow off with some chops to the chest. Wardlow charges at Blade with a spear. Wardlow plants Blade with a huge power bomb. The crowd cheers for more. Wardlow obliges, sends Blade thumping to the mat with another power bomb. The crowd wants more, so Wardlow gives them more, nails Blade with a third and a fourth power bomb, and finally pins Blade for the 1, 2, 3.
the Wardlow chants remind me of Goldberg chants a little bit tonight.
Yes, because they had that same kind of
Same
feel.
cadence. Yeah, the same cadence too. And I love it that he listens to the crowd.
Yes.
1 or 2 power bombs are not enough.
No.
Give us more.
After the match, Spears whacks Blade with the chair, and he and Wardlow make their way out of the ring. We then see a video package where Alex Abrahantes narrates Penta's change because of Malachi Black's mist, and we cut back to the ring where the Inner Circle makes their way to the ring, and they will have a team meeting. Jericho, Guevara, and Hager make their way down as the crowd sings Judas.
What do you think of the Penta's change? What do you think we could see there?
I'm digging it. I'm wondering if he's bringing back some of the older gear, maybe going darker, more heelish.
Yeah.
So I think something good's going to come of it.
I know the Lucha Bros are one of the best tag teams in the world, and Ray Phoenix, they suspect he'll be back, I think sometime next month, which is great. I mean, when that happened,
Oof.
I think we all thought he was going to be out majority of the year right when it happened. So, but Penta has always just oozed charisma to me, oozed
absolutely.
superstar potential and talent. I mean, he's been a world champion in Impact before, and I still think before his career's all said and done in AEW, he's going to have a good singles title run of some sort eventually.
Oh, I think we'll see it sooner rather than later. After Jericho, Hager, and Guevara make their way into the ring, they're talking about the fact that Santana and Ortiz aren't with them. That's okay. They haven't seen them all day. Pride and Powerful's music hits. They come out. Jericho gets in their face immediately about the fact that they didn't tag him in, calls it disrespectful. Santana says it's enough of that corny shit. At the end of the day, Jericho only cares about Jericho. Santana says anything that they've fought or any issue they had to go through, it's to the benefit of Jericho and only Jericho. Santana says whenever they had a chance to go to for the AEW tag titles, they had to stop what they were doing to come save Jericho. Santana says that he and Ortiz came out here to tell them the days of playing second fiddle are over and done. And at the end of the day, Chris is the one who always stood in their way and never let them get a bigger spotlight than he had. And this goes on for a while. Jericho says, I might have picked the wrong two members of LAX.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Asks Hager if he's got
The number for Homicide and Hernandez.
There we go. My notes didn't have that.
That's when Santana went after Jericho's throat.
Yep. And Guevara stops it. Jericho tells Sammy to shut up. Jericho apologizes.
Crowd didn't like that.
No. Sammy says he loves everyone in the ring, says they're family. Sammy says one of his goals is to become the best champion in AEW history. And this bickering back and forth isn't going to help anything. He says, I've quit this group before, and I'll do it again unless you figure this out. Ortiz asks Jericho what's next and says he couldn't be more wrong about Eddie Kingston. And unlike Chris, he's one of their brothers in arms. And one thing is for certain, the bickering and moaning they're doing isn't going to settle anything. Ortiz says where they come from, they don't fix things by talking. They do it by fighting. Next week, Santana and Ortiz against Jericho and Hager. Jericho says after he and Hager beat them down, maybe they'll have an attitude adjustment. Jericho and Hager exit the ring and we cut backstage where Tony Schiavone is with Trent and Rocky Romero, which we'll get to in just a minute. What did you think of the Inner Circle segment overall?
Didn't love it, but didn't hate it. It was kind of there, kind of what I expected. I liked Sammy walking away. He's got to go do his own thing for a little bit. I like that we're getting a match between the two teams. I think Hager looks like he's in tremendous shape right now. You can definitely tell he's been in a fight camp lately, getting ready for his next MMA fight. This will be interesting next week because we're still setting up for the Jericho Kingston match. That's where this is gonna go.
Oh, absolutely.
It just when's Eddie get a return from his eye injury?
Yeah,
that's the question. So, which I think it's going to be soon, pretty soon.
I think
from
so.
Some interviews he did last week.
I think so.
But this it was fine. I don't know. I don't have strong feelings for it either way, but I did like the kind of homage to the original LAX, Hernandez, and Homicide. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So as we go backstage,
what'd you think of it?
Oh, I'm excited for the falling out of the Inner Circle. I know that sounds kind of silly, but I want to see, Pride and Powerful do their thing. I want to see Sammy do his thing and not have to be part of Inner Circle. It's Sammy Guevara or, Santana and Ortiz.
I'm ready for it too. I think they should do it, but every time I think they should do it, they don't pull the trigger. Part of me is like, I don't know if they'll ever totally break up the Inner Circle.
If they don't break up, they need to just kind of make it like, just a thing. You're in the Inner Circle, but it's not going to come out every time to Judas. It's, Sammy can come out to Sammy's music, Pride and Powerful do their thing, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. So kind of a house, if you'll have it that way. Okay. Somewhere to call home.
Mm-hmm.
But we see Tony Schiavone backstage with Trent and Rocky Romero ahead of their match against the Young Bucks this Friday night on Rampage. Matt and Nick interrupt and ponder why they don't just fight right here, right now. Adam Cole comes from behind and attacks Romero and Trent. Matt and Nick join the attack, and there was a very poorly done V-trigger here. Because Rocky's head clearly fell forward before it was supposed to.
Yeah, got him big time in the shoulder.
Oh, yeah. But that's not the big news. The big news is Jay White comes out of nowhere, fires Rocky into the production truck, and we can officially say that Jay White has walked through the forbidden door.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
I did not either.
Should have, because I know he's been in the U.S. for a while. He lives in the U.S. now. He's been on Impact for the past few months with the Bullet Club and Chris Bay and everything going on over there. But it just, when I figured Jay White eventually would show up on AEW television. Eventually, I didn't know if it'd be 2022 or not. Actually, I thought it'd be last year and it never happened. But um, I thought he'd come out to entrance music or something. I didn't think he would just pop up on the screen like that. At first, when I saw the leather jacket and I didn't see the switchblade with the tallies, I thought it was Kenny. Just for a split second. I thought it was like, oh my God, Kenny's back. But then I was like, oh my God, no, that's Jay White. Loved the reaction of Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. If you watch Matt and Nick, what is he doing here? And Adam Cole's just smiling the whole time. So you knew he had something to do with it. You knew he was cool with it. Jay White says to Nick, nice earrings. Walks away. Loved it. He's so good. So good.
We head to a commercial break because when we come back from the break, we find out who the free agent is. We got the Forbidden Door segment that TK had tweeted about. Now it was time to see who the free agent was. Isaiah Cassidy makes his way to the ring with the Andrade Hardy family office music playing,
which they still don't have the A up there on the.
They did though.
On the oh, they did.
I
must have missed that. Okay,
it was AHFO.
Okay, I just saw that HFO.
Yeah, it was quick. It was quick, but I think at least it looked like it to me. I may be wrong.
They should if they don't. I mean,
right.
If you're gonna call the group that have the initials up there.
Yes, and well, Cassidy's in the ring, and then your prediction was right because Keith Lee is all elite,
and the crowd loved it. Huge pop. You could tell he was loving it. He was taking it in, kind of like when Moxley debuted at Double or Nothing. It's like, I'm free. This is what it feels like to be appreciated.
Yep.
AEW did more in one night for Keith Lee than WWE did when he was on the main roster the whole time.
Exactly. Because, they let him come out in his regular attire and not go, we got to change your whole attire before you walk through that curtain.
The great entrance theme that didn't need messed with. Didn't call him Bearcat.
No.
I mean,
didn't do anything to him.
Awesome. It was a great debut. And just had a feeling, a lot of rumors going around with last week on Fightful that Keith Lee was in talks with AEW, so I thought it was coming. And of course, but that was what the fun thing was, seeing all the speculation on wrestling Twitter. I mean, Jeff Hardy's name came up, which I think he'll be all elite soon. But Matt said on his podcast on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy that his no compete clause ends on March 9th. So unless Tony found a way to buy him out, which I don't think WWE would allow that, he wasn't coming over. Mustafa Ali was another rumored, same thing. He's still under contract with WWE. I mean, there was rumors maybe TK could buy him out because he bought Thunder Rosa out of her NWA contract, if you remember, but that's probably a little different. And then there was tons of other names thrown out there. Josh Alexander from Impact, ties with Ethan Page. He was one I was seeing.
Especially since Brandy brought that up.
Exactly. And one person on Twitter replied to our question today, had X-Pac, Sean Waltman, who he is. He came out of retirement. He's teaming with Joey Janela against Matt Cardona and Brian Myers at the GCW event coming up. So there was Samoa Joe was another one speculated. Karrion Kross was rumored. Adam Scherr, a.k.a. Braun Strowman. Did see a ton of Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt. I didn't see a lot of that. But at the end of the day, Keith Lee, happy for him, happy for his new wife. She was thrilled for her husband on Twitter. And good play by her tweeting out the honeymoon photo yesterday.
Yeah. So bell rings. Lee is feeling it early and often. Shows off his high-flying and powerful offense. Nails Cassidy with a moonsault and a flip off the top rope. Then tosses Cassidy out of the ring and dives onto him on the outside. Matt Hardy makes his way out of the ringside area with a disappointed look, targeted in the direction of Cassidy. Lee tosses Cassidy to the corner. Cassidy trips Lee up, slides him out of the ring, and dives through the middle ropes to lay out Lee, who quickly gets back into the ring. Cassidy lights him up with some strikes has a Pele kick swatted away. Lee tosses Cassidy in the air, catches him on his shoulders, and plants him with a pop-up side slam for the 3 count and the win. I gotta say, you want to talk about power. When this match started, he grabbed Cassidy and just tossed him across the ring like he was a rag doll.
Yeah, I mean, he's powerful. I mean,
Ooh.
how did WWE blow with this guy? I mean, he was supposed to be their guy. You know, that you saw that backstage segment or video of a segment from 2 years ago. Vince talking to him and everything. I mean, he and Lesnar were face to face in the Rumble a few years ago. Place was going nuts. I mean, he was the real deal, and WWE just did what they do to everybody, just screwed him up. AEW, I think, is going to use him the right way. I mean, he's powerful, fun to watch, quick for a guy that big, athletic, nice guy from everything I've read outside the ring. So crowd loves him. It's a home run signing, I should say, by TK
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
He's going to be fun in that ladder match. The Revolution,
Yes.
He's going to be fun to watch in that ladder match.
After the match, Mark Quinn attacks Keith Lee. Isaiah Cassidy joins the attack, but Lee quickly takes them both out before we see a video package hyping up next week's no disqualification match between Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah, Mercedes took out Thunder Rosa with a lead pipe on Rampage. First DQ I can remember in AEW. But we found out that Britt Baker hired Mercedes to come in and take out Thunder Rosa, and Mercedes pretty much told Britt that's what I did, but Britt said no, you need to get the job done and get the win. So don't think she'll get the win, but I like the story. I like how they did that on Friday night.
No. And then after the video package, Sammy Guevara makes his way out to the ring as we head to a commercial break.
Cue card time.
Sammy's got those cue cards rolling as he brings up numerous names that could challenge for the title. Andrade, Keith Lee, I saw was on there as well. So
yeah, I don't know how I feel about another Darby and Sammy. I mean, there was a banger of a match back in 2020 Revolution. Loved it, but I'm like, man, we've seen these two guys already both hold the TNT title. Or Darby's only had it once. Excuse me. I was going to say he's had it twice. It seems like but he had it for a while. I'm like, man, I don't know. But neither of them are ready to go for the big gold. So,
no.
And they're main event players. So I guess where else do you
It makes sense.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm okay if they run it back now. I'm talking myself into it. See, working myself into a shoot.
FTR makes their way to the ring along with Tully Blanchard. CM Punk's next out, and we wait for his mystery opponent, who we soon find out is Jon Moxley.
Who did you think it was going to be?
I wasn't sure. I was just really hoping it wasn't Danhausen. I mean, I know he's still injured, but there's all the Punk Danhausen stuff going around on social media. I was like, man, I really hope they don't somehow make this work.
Oh, the crowd would have loved it.
Oh, they would have gone crazy.
They were going back and forth on Twitter. I think Danhausen's pretty close to being cleared. I mean, it looks, he doesn't have the cast on anymore or the brace and doesn't have his crutches. But Punk was tagging Danhausen. Punk even tagged Samoa Joe, asked him if he was still in the country. I saw a lot of people popping for that on Twitter. Didn't think that was going to happen. I would have loved it. But didn't think that was going to happen. So I was trying to think. I'm like, okay, we've got 2 surprises tonight. I don't think they're going to give us a third. So I'm trying to think of roster members. I couldn't think of him. I can't believe I didn't think of Moxley because I was trying to think of baby faces. And I'm like, well, it can't be Darby and Sting. I was like, I don't think they're going to throw Orange Cassidy into this. So, yeah. Perfect pick, though.
Yep. And as the bell rings, Punks and Dax start this one off. Punk frustrates Dax with some takedowns and transitions. Dax composes himself and locks back up with Punk and makes the tag to Cash, who works over Punk with a choke. Punk slides out with an arm drag. Cash breaks away and makes the tag to Dax. Punk makes the tag to Moxley, who drags Dax to the mat with an arm drag, but Dax reverses the momentum and counters with a headlock. Moxley tosses Dax off the top rope, but Dax wallops him with a clothesline before Moxley fires back with a slam and a trio of kicks, then an elbow and a cover, but Dax kicks out at 2. Moxley makes the tag to Punk. Cash distracts Punk, and Dax dives at Punk's knee and tags in Cash, who continues the attack on Punk's now re-injured knee. A lot of back and forth action. I mean, this match was just crazy. So many close calls. I thought this match was over several different times.
One thing that bothered me about this match, if I can intervene real quick, is and this was just and it wasn't AEW fault, but this is just something that that the WWE commentators say every time you have two superstars who don't normally tag together, can they coexist? Let's see how they coexist. I saw X coming. Oh God, I was like, I hate that line. It's so old for me. I heard that, but I get why they say it, but it's like, oh God.
Yeah. Towards the end of the match, Dax clubs Punk with an uppercut. Then another Punk looks for the backslide. Cash tags himself in. Punk knocks him off the apron, looks for the GTS on Dax, but gets caught in the big rig. Cash covers Punk, but Moxley makes the save to break it up. What was Dax doing? I mean, it looked like a video game double team pinning move where it locked up and Dax just didn't move. I mean, Mox slid in like he was expecting to fight off Dax, and Dax just looked right past him.
Yeah, that was kind of a cluster.
Yeah.
I will say going into this match, I'm like, okay, let's be honest. Moxley and Punk aren't losing this, even though FTR is one of the best tag teams in the world. And they shouldn't be really, in my opinion, racking up as many losses as they are. But for a split second, when that bell shot happened, I thought FTR was stealing it.
Yeah. But did you notice they have like 40 wins and they're still single digit losses or just barely double.
They are respected. Don't get me wrong. And I laugh at the people on the internet who say, are they really getting used in AEW better than they were in WWE? It's like, yeah, I remember in WWE they were shaving each other's backs in the shower.
Yeah.
It's
bad memories.
I want to see him with Tag Team Gold again, and I think we eventually will. I think they'll be the first two-time AEW Tag Team champions. But it was also fun to see Tully get in there mixing up with CM Punk.
That's where I was just getting ready to go to. As all four men get up, FTR slides out of a mere GTS and paradigm shift attempt. Moxley chokes Cash. Dax get caught in the Anaconda Vice, taps out, but Aubrey Edwards, for the first time, is distracted by the Dax and Moxley brawl. Tully Blanchard breaks up the submission, but eats a GTS from Punk.
Awesome.
Took him a minute to get Tully up there, though.
Yeah, he was probably being extra careful. I mean, Tully's really old, but good for Tully. Still taking bumps.
Right. Cash rolls Punk up, but Punk kicks out. Cash eats a GTS from Punk. Moxley stops Dax from interfering, nails him with the paradigm shift. Punk pins Cash and gets the 1-2-3 for the win. I loved the finish there.
Yeah,
I loved the GTS. Mox runs in, grabs Dax for the paradigm shift. Yep. They hit almost instantaneously. Yep. Ooh, it was great.
It was fun. It's fun to see these guys in their new company, new roles, tagging together, having fun.
Yes.
And like I mentioned last week, Moxley's looking better and better shape every week. I did read an interview with him the other day. He said he is working on getting his weight back up to where it was. Said he's eating pints of ice cream before he goes to bed and whatever else Renee's making for him. So he said he's close to getting his weight back up to where he wants. So good for him.
Yeah. Up next is Jade Cargill with Smart Mark Sterling versus the debuting AQA for the AEW TBS Championship.
And I like this too. Use the TBS Championship kind of like you did the TNT Champion when Cody had it.
Yeah.
And bring in some new talent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jade slams AQA to start. AQA fights back, but Jade tosses her to the mat and works for an armbar. AQA slides out and locks Jade into an armbar of her own. Jade lifts her and tosses her to the mat and then out of the ring as we head to a commercial break. During the commercial break, I thought there was a 3 count because Jade
Yeah,
had her
there was a close
pinned.
call. Mm-hmm.
And I seriously thought it was a 3 count, especially with the way Jade was acting after it.
I think she was supposed to kick out earlier than she did. Yeah, it was kind of a miscommunication. That was my understanding. I think she probably just kicked out later than she was supposed to, and I don't think it was supposed to be that close.
Okay. Back from the break, and AQA is getting a ton of offense in this one and drills Jade with a sky-high drop kick, then goes up top, looks for a dive, but gets caught by Jade, who blasts her with some wild slam before planting her with Jaded for the 3 count and the win. Can we talk about the shooting star press that AQA did, though?
One of the best ones I've seen in a long time.
Wow.
I mean, she really impressed me tonight. She's really athletic.
Yeah.
Why not? Make her all elite. Put her on Dark and Elevation. Rampage from time to time. Dynamite from time to time. Another quality talent in the women's division.
Absolutely. Then we go backstage to the Cutler Cam. As
I enjoy these every week, I gotta say.
Yes. Matt and Nick are backstage with Adam Cole. Nick says it's time to climb the rankings, and Adam Cole says Jay White is their man if they need any backup during their match against Rocky Romero and Trent on Friday night. Matt asks Adam if he can send them a heads up next time he invites someone to the show. Adam says they can trust him because he's never steered them in the wrong direction. Cole says he has something he needs to say, and he'll catch up with them later on.
And I love the fact that the Young Bucks brought up this guy's Kenny's enemy. Love that. And they brought up Bullet Club. They said Bullet Club. Said Bullet Club for life.
I know. But here's my question for you. Are we in a long-term storytelling where Cole's going to get back at them for killing him off on BTE?
100%.
Okay.
100%. 100%. When Kenny comes back, I mean, we haven't seen Red Dragon on TV lately.
Right.
But when Kenny comes back, I think we're going to see Kenny and the Bucks versus Cole and Red Dragon. But if Jay White's still around, maybe the Bullet Club gets involved because, I mean, it's the forbidden door. I know Tomatonga tweeted at Tony that he's a free agent for the first time since like 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of talents can't go over to Japan to work in New Japan right now.
I know. So,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities after tonight's episode, and I love it because I want to see more of that old storytelling working BT and Dynamite. I think it's awesome. And Cole, Adam Cole's good dude. He's sneaky.
Oh, yeah.
Buck shouldn't trust him.
If we think back to a BTE episode right after Cole came back, he got Kenny a monster, and Kenny was very hesitant to drink the monster because he remembers.
Yep. So it's great. It's and you know, I don't expect to see Kenny back for a little while.
Mid-year earliest.
Yeah, maybe double or nothing time, but that might be pushing it. I mean, it sounds like he had a lot of pretty serious injuries he was fighting through, so he had multiple surgeries. So, but man, when he does, that crowd's gonna go nuts.
Oh, absolutely.
Because everybody, I mean, we took him for granted. I took him for granted. I mean, he was carried that
company
on his back last year's champion. Puts on great matches every night, good promos, but it just, you know, it gets to the point where it is what it is. You expect that from Omega, the best battle machine. But then when you don't see him for months, it's like, my God, I miss watching Kenny Omega on my television.
Yeah. Yep. Trust me, my kids randomly blurted out Kenny Omega for no reason yesterday, and I kind of looked up at the TV. It's Tuesday, and I look it up at the TV going, is Kenny on?
Yep. I mean, he's star power, man. And it's and I like that he's getting healthy, getting the care he needs, because I think he's got one more really good run in him before he starts slowing down.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Up next, for the first time ever in Dynamite history, thanks to the Kicking Out podcast and Tanner's repeated we need 2 women's matches. We got our second women's match of the night.
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks for listening to the Kicking Out podcast, Tony Khan. We greatly appreciate it. If you could give us a shout out on television, that'd be great.
Send monies, as Danhausen says. Send monies.
Send monies, lots of monies.
Yes.
We get a 5-minute professor challenge from Serena Deeb as she takes on Katie Arquette.
And love this because right when I saw it advertised, it reminded me of the old Master Lock challenge.
Yes, exactly what I thought of.
Masters.
Yep.
Katie Arquette, this is the sister of David Arquette, correct?
I think so.
I think it is. I think she is. Yeah.
There's some relation. I know that.
I'm going to Google that real quick.
Okay, well, while you Google it, I'll talk about this 5-minute professor challenge. Deeb tosses Arquette into the corner, then blasts her with a neck breaker before locking up an arm bar, and Arquette immediately taps out. I will say that even though this match was only about 60 seconds, it was great to have a second women's match, even if it is just a quick squash match. And I like how the confidence that Deeb has as a heel, because she turned her back to Arquette. She's like, come on, hit me with your best shot. She tried to give her time, but Deeb's veteran status just kind of overtook. And we knew with a name like Katie Arquette that she wasn't going to win. She wasn't going to last 5 minutes.
Katie Arquette is David Arquette's niece.
Okay.
Niece. So,
okay.
Yes. And I think she just got into wrestling, it looks like, in 2017. But I agree with what you said, Paul. Even though it was a short squash match, it's great. It's a step in the right direction. Still gets more women on TV. And we've seen squash matches with men. We've seen short promos they could cut out and have another women's match in there. So I'm glad they went that direction tonight.
Absolutely. I was excited. I know you were excited.
Yep.
And I look forward to
Serena Deeb's fantastic. I mean,
oh yeah.
She's so talented.
Yeah, let's do this every week where she does a 5-minute professor challenge, like you said, like the Master Lock challenge, where it's just something, boom, and somebody will get her, and that'll be that.
Yep.
And then we'll have a whole other segment to go off of.
Yep.
And it's now time for the main event. The Texas Death Match.
Oh, you knew it was going to be bloody. I mean, the last one we saw was when Archer beat Mox in the state of Texas for the IWGP US title. So whenever it's Texas Death Match, because I think this was the third one, if I'm not mistaken, we've seen on AEW television, you know it's going to be hardcore.
Yeah, at least it wasn't an exploding match.
True. I think we'll see one of those.
I hope not. And if we do, I'm sure Tony will make sure that never happens again.
Yeah.
Like it did. Anyway, both men are brawling backstage before either make their entrance. Paige tosses Archer into some production equipment, and they brawl to the arena, and the bell officially rings. Can we talk? Was that glass set there on purpose?
I don't know.
Because that was on the heel tunnel, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know. Couldn't tell.
But it's been so long since Archer's actually made his entrance on AEW. It could have been something that he was going to throw something through it or kick through it or something. Who knows?
I don't know.
But the bell officially rings. Paige drills Archer with the title, tosses him through some glass that busts Archer open. Paige tosses Archer back in the ring and blasts Archer with the buckshot lariat. Referee Paul Turner begins his 10 count, and Paige and Archer and it's announced again that Paige and Archer can only win by a 10-second knockout or submission. Archer struggles to his feet, but gets there at the count of 9. Paige dives through the middle rope. Archer pelts him with a garbage can cover.
Oh, God.
Starts unloading. Oh, my Lord.
That garbage can lid shot. I was like, holy crap.
I knew he was grabbing something the way he dived under the ring as soon as he hit the floor. I was like, all right. And then I thought I saw it, but the camera cut so quick that I was like, maybe I didn't. But the way he was standing, I went, all right, Paige is diving into something, and he sure did.
Oh, God, did he ever. And Lance didn't hold back, and unlike a chair when you got to make sure you swing it a proper way if you're going to swing it hard.
Yeah.
Just swing the lid. Who
Yeah,
cares?
Boom, it's gonna hit him.
God.
God. Dan Lambert makes his way down to the ring, as well as
And I
Jake
said the
the
same thing
Snake
Shivani was.
Roberts.
Oh, God. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I said.
Yes, I think I said it at the exact same time Shivani said it too. Lambert starts unhooking some of the turnbuckle, takes the top rope off to disallow Page from doing the buckshot lariat. And can I say, as a man who has put a ring together before, that was very frustrating because you have to keep all four corners at the same turns. So that was off, and it anyway.
I love when they do that spot though and take one of the ropes down, and it was great storytelling too, strategic by Lambert to do that so we can't the buckshot.
Yeah. Archer tosses Page into the crowd and looks for a power bomb, but Page lays him out with a moonsault off of a barricade. The way Page landed on that barricade, I would have fallen.
Oh yeah.
They make their way back to the ring. Page looks for the buckshot lariat, but realizes he has nothing to launch himself off without a top rope. Archer nails him in the back of the head with a clothesline. We head to a commercial break. Back from the break, and Page is now also busted open, and he plants Archer with a DDT on the outside. Lots and lots of color in this match.
Oh man.
Uh,
Wonder
both
what the WWE people are going to say about this one if they got on that Rampage women's tag match a couple weeks back.
Yeah, because this makes it look like they just took a red marker and drew it across their forehead.
Yeah.
Both men get back into the ring. Page unloads shots with a kendo stick on Archer, but Archer counters and wallops Page with a slam onto a garbage can. Archer grabs a fork, starts stabbing Page with it. Page rolls up off the ring. Archer follows and retrieves a bevy of chairs from underneath the ring, tosses them in before he finds a chair wrapped in barbed wire. Archer drills Page with a big boot, then goes back outside the ring, grabs the steel steps, fires Page onto them with the blackout, which sends the champion bouncing off the steps and to the floor. Ooh, those steps bent.
Yeah, that looked like it sucked so bad.
Oh man, I felt so bad. Yeah, I felt so bad for Page.
Hangman Page takes some crazy bumps.
And we wonder why he's never on TV.
I know, but guys, he takes some wild bumps. He really does. He puts his body through
it. Turner begins the count on Page, but Archer picks him up, tosses him back into the ring, looks for a power bomb onto the barbed wire chair, but Page rips the barbed wire off of it, clubs Archer in the face, then delivers a German suplex to the big man. Paul Turner's bent over in the ring to grab the barbed wire, and Page uses Turner as a launching pad to nail Archer with the buckshot lariat. Both he and Archer go through a table on the outside. Both men struggle to their feet. Page gets up. Archer can't beat the 10 count, and Hangman Adam Page retains the world title.
That was such a cool spot. I never recall seeing somebody use a ref as a launching pad like that for a finishing maneuver. I thought that was really creative and unique. I like that a lot.
Yes. Most of the time you use the ref to avoid getting hit or some type of distraction. You throw the ref, you knock the ref out, but to use him as a launching pad.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Hats off to Paul Turner for agreeing to do that.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the best refs that AEW's got.
Absolutely.
He's really good.
Now here, you have been hinting at this for weeks now. After the match, Adam Cole comes down to the ring, rips the championship out of ref Paul Turner's hands, and hands it to Cole. Cole puts the title on Page himself to signify he's coming for Page as his title as the show goes off the air.
He's been number one in the rankings. He's still technically undefeated since his loss to Orange Cassidy was in the Lights Out Unsanctioned match. He goes back to their Bullet Club days. I mean, there's so much they can hit on. We got about a month. Revolution's on Sunday, March 6th. So got about a month to get there. Really looking forward to the next few weeks, how we plant some more seeds going forward.
Speaking of Revolution, that is the next time the KOP Predictions Championship will be on the line. We were going to, I was willing to defend it tonight.
We were going to try tonight, but when they only give us two matches until a few hours prior to the show, it's kind of hard to
Yep. So
get
due
going.
to a no contest tonight, I am
Well,
still champion. I will not rub that in your face too bad tonight, Tanner, because I really wanted to defend it. I was willing to take my loss because I said it was Killer Cross that was the free agent, and you said Keith Lee. So I was gonna let you claim victory.
yeah, no, I don't want to win it that way, but I do feel like I'm a true number one contender now. I've got a few
You are.
predictions right going on, so now if I can only get some match predictions right, so
Yeah.
but Revolution's going to be a great card. And honestly, out of the 4 pay-per-views, you can argue Revolution both in 2020 and 2021 had the strongest card of
Yes.
them all. So
Yes.
it just they need to still get that bad taste out of my mouth from the main event last year, the exploding barbed wire finish with Kingston and Moxley. Something good this year.
I think they're gonna do that. Don't worry.
Yeah, but
Don't
great
worry.
episode tonight. Slower paced, it felt like.
Yeah.
Or if I don't know. I mean, it had a ton of action. I mean, the first half was a lot of promos and debuts, and the second half was a lot of action with matches and in-ring work. But it just seemed like the 2 hours took a lot longer, which that's fine. Because
Right.
sometimes I'm like, dang, this show's flying by. And tonight I look at the clock, I'm like, oh wow, it's only 9:00. So I don't know why that was, but it just was.
Your rating for tonight's show.
It was a slower one, but I'm gonna give this a 9.
Ooh.
I really enjoyed tonight's show.
Ooh, Tanner with the 9.
I don't have much to pick on.
You know what? I will go right there with you. I'm a solid 9 with tonight's episode.
I mean, you can, if you really want, you can nitpick things in every segment, every match. But I mean, the Inner Circle segment was what it was. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. And there was a few things in the Jade match that was a little off at times, but I like what they're doing with that, with the new talent coming in to face for the TBS title, and thought the main event was good. Enjoyed the opening segment with MJF. Thought the tag match was a banger of a match. Keith Lee, great debut. Jay White's surprise was awesome. So, yeah,
all right.
Good show.
Your wrestler of the night.
Part of me wants to go with Hangman because that was a hard-fought battle against Lance. He got color. He defended his title successfully, but I picked Hangman a couple times for Wrestler of the Week. Gotta go Keith Lee.
I knew it.
Great debut. Beats an athletic superstar in Isaiah Cassidy. Just happy for the guy. Just happy for him after being on shelf for a little while, waiting for his 90-day no-compete clause to come up, and excited to see what AEW does with him going forward. Wouldn't shock me at all if he wins that ladder match at Revolution.
No, not at all. Not at all. All right. Well, I'm going to go with the team of Punk and Moxley.
I like it.
I like these two as a team. I know, they're two very big egos. Let's see if they can work together. Like you said, overdone.
Yeah.
These two.
And these two coexist.
They don't have egos. They know they're good.
Yep.
They can prove they're good. And they worked very, very well together. I was very excited. I wanted to see him. I wanted Punk to come back and team when Moxley was in WWE.
Yep.
And it never happened. So I was excited to see this. This is one of those kind of like dream tag matches for me.
And just wait till eventually we get a Punk and Danielson tag team when they're heels, because it'll happen eventually.
Oh, yes, it will.
And remember the storyline that was put in place last week. Danielson wants to be have a faction with Moxley. So
yep. I think it'll be good.
See.
Yep.
Yeah, some talent's not on TV this week with their stories. No Danielson tonight.
Right.
No Cody Rhodes. Well, he wasn't on last week, but Brandy was.
Well, yeah.
That's okay if she's not on this week. Right. Who else wasn't on this week? No Jurassic Express with the tag titles.
Nope. We got the Ass Boys though.
Well, yes, we did.
I forgot about that. We got a quick little thing from them as now I can't even think of his name. Their dad. Yeah, Billy Gunn.
Billy
There
Gunn.
we go.
Billy Gunn.
Said, let's throw it back for a little bit. I got 2 words for you. New champs.
Yep, because they are going against Jurassic Express Friday night on Rampage for the titles.
Jurassic Express is retaining.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to make a prediction right now. I know it's February 9th.
Ooh.
The next tag team champions are going to be Brody King and Malachi Black. I'm pretty certain.
All right.
Yeah. I think we'll go back to a heel team again.
Okay. I'm looking
Or I
forward
could see
to it.
FTR, but I like the House of Black or the Kings of the Black Throne, they call themselves. They're in the rankings now.
Yes,
So
they are.
I like them sitting down there. I'm like, yeah, that I could see that.
Yep. All right. Any final thoughts for tonight, Tanner?
Oh, great show. I mean, I think it was a great follow up from, I think last week's was kind of a for Dynamite. I think I gave it like a 6.5 or a 7. Or I think it was 6.5. But this week's was awesome. I mean, TK delivered. I mean, he got us all confused by all his tweets. Like, okay, is it a free agent? Is it somebody shutting the forbidden door? Which I had seen on Twitter that he has tried to trademark the forbidden door phrase, which is interesting. So,
okay.
But I don't think Jay White's all elite by any means. But I think we're just going to see him on TV. He's a guy. He's going to be in 3 companies. I mean, he's Jay White. He does whatever the heck he wants. He switchblade.
Exactly.
But Keith Lee got the graphic. Happy for him. And Tony kind of hinted on Busted Open today and in some other interviews. Just because those other speculated names, only one was going to appear tonight doesn't mean that he's not looking to sign more. So, and he even brought up he can't re-sign all of the expiring contracts. So
yeah,
we're going to see some talent not be on TV anymore.
Oh, absolutely. We knew that was coming eventually anyway.
And I'm anxious to get an update on Cody Rhodes' contract situation, to be honest. I mean, I don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm still anxious to see what's going on there.
I think that's why we didn't get Cody on TV tonight.
Yeah.
To let that kind of work a little bit more.
Well, and I let him sell the hard-fought ladder match.
Unlike, putting Sammy on Rampage the following Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. I let him sell the injuries a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts. It's a great show. Great rebound from last week. Like
cool venue said. Too.
Oh yeah, it was a great venue. I loved the MJF intro.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
Yeah, he's one. I mean, he's so good at his character. I almost like the guy, if that makes sense. Like I'm coming around. I'm like he's good at his character, even outside. I'm like, man, I'm talking myself out of giving one of his T-shirts because I'm like, that's how good this guy is at his gimmick. But I can't wait till he gets powerbomb by Wardlow. So.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, in the near future, you could be wearing a "Better Than the Best in the World" T-shirt.
Possibly. Hey, it's I got a birthday around the corner, so maybe we get some new AEW merch. But speaking of merch, go get yourself some KOP merch.
You got 2 different stores to get it from. You can check out Pro Wrestling Tees, or you can check out the official KOP merchandise store. The link is in all of our social media profiles. So go get yourself a coffee mug or a T-shirt or a hoodie or something.
Yep.
Go get yourself
there's something for everybody. We've got 2 different logos on there. Working on a few more. So have your eyes out here in the near future for some more designs to drop.
Absolutely. And, support a great podcast and looking great while you do so, or, your stylish coffee mug will look good while you drink that coffee in the morning.
Yep.
And be sure to follow Kicking Out Podcast on all social media at Kicking Out Pod. Be sure to listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. And like Tanner said at the beginning of the show, if that happens to be Apple Podcast, give us a 5-star rating like Meltzer would do. Come on, 5 stars. You can do it. Give us that 5-star. You got it. We'll be in the top 5 before you know it.
Working our way up slowly but surely.
And be sure to follow Tanner Lee on all social media at Tanner Lee 92. Follow myself at Paul Zartman 921. And with that, For Tanner Lee, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.